coffee bean, Kentucky coffee bean tree seeds, I guess you call it. Brought back from there and put them out here in the yard in memory of his brother Nicholas Jr. that was killed at Horseshoe Bend. And they say that when the soldiers were killed, they were fighting the Indians there, that they would throw the soldier's body in the river so that the Indians couldn't get a hold of it. So that's the end of Nicholas Jr. But they're still here, still got some. They come up. They're a very hardy tree. But I was told with Miss Brown, who owned this place, the Lice Gibbs that owned this place, her daddy was Rufus. No, her daddy was John, and her grandpa was Rufus, and his daddy was Daniel, and his daddy was Nicholas. I believe that's right. That's how it came down through her. But she said there was one coffee tree out here that was so large that she can remember her grandpa. It was hollowed out inside, and that in bad weather he would go and sit inside that tree and wait on the mailman to come by. And that was probably the one out here on the right side where that hump is. There was a lot of trees came up around that one. It's been gone for many years. But that's just part of the history of the place here. We still do have a few of those. They look like locust trees, but they're not. They're some reason they call them coffee trees, because if you dig up the roots, it looks like it's got coffee beans all over the roots. Anyone else? Yes, yours.
Thank you, Larry. Always good for some stories. One interesting thing about the coffee bean trees, Danny Clapp and myself there's a marker here in the side yard in memory of Nicholas Gibbs Jr. A lady in Texas paid for this, and she paid for two of them. We took one back to Horseshoe Bend National Military Park, probably 20 years ago, and asked the fellow down there, the ranger, about coffee bean trees. He's never heard of them. So they're not indigenous down there, and we always thought that's where they came from. So apparently, he picked these seeds up in another journey. Fighting Indians everywhere. Could have been in Kentucky, could have been West Tennessee, but it was not in Alabama, because he said there was no trees in that area at all. He says he didn't know of any in the whole state. So anyway, they're here, and they came from Nicholas Jr., but apparently not from Alabama. Another person I wanted to thank, and getting back here, I think I mentioned, but if I didn't, I meant to, is Mary Hickman over at the food table. She's been a real trooper. She's counted the plates and the cups and the saucers, and I think everybody's not going to have to worry about what they're going to eat out of it. And she said after this is adjourned, if you could give her about 5 minutes to get it all set up. And our another thing that happened this year, our nominations person notified me that she was stepping down. It's Fern White's daughter, Lynn Hutton, and she's tied up with her mother, and she meant to get to us sooner. But there's been no nominations for officers for this year. So, first of all, would anybody like to take that spot for the coming year? We need two people. Would anybody like to be the nominating officer? Be on the nominating committee. Okay. Okay, that's Lisa Starbuck. You need some help? Okay. Anybody that wants to help? Lisa's in the green top here. So that's for next year, but this year, do hear any nominations? We'll start with president. Nominations for president for next year. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No, you got this somewhere. Okay. Well, I'm running out of ideas for meetings, so we'll get some new blood next year. Which reminds me, we need, and I'm as bad as anybody. I got 2 boys, and you can tell neither one of them's here. We need young members. We're all getting old. You can encourage any of your children, grandchildren to get interested in this, join the society. We get to keep the house going. Takes money. And
Stick it right here.
Is anybody here that overlooked? Mark, did you do the same? Would you like to say anything?
Glad to be here.
Okay, glad to have you. Okay, and again, thanks to the Gibbs Pickers. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Okay, I thought we did that. Okay, treasurer's report.
We now have $42,514.03 in their account. And we only need about Is there any mail here, Gibbs mail here? We need, asked me to ask if any Gibbs mail would be willing to do a DNA. That way, if anyone in Germany or England or wherever we're from would happen to do a DNA, then that mail might match. But if you know someone that would, ask them.
We usually have one. Okay. Okay, usually we have Gibbs here, and they usually, we're usually from Texas. In fact, the family 5 was coming, but he had to have at least tell me, cataract surgery, and they had to cancel the plans 2 weeks ago. 5 of them were coming. Okay, you can all finish visiting and talking while we eat, so I hear a motion to adjourn. Second? Adjourn. Thank you for coming.